Hey, good morning, and welcome to History. We're going to take some time and kind of talk about last week's lesson where you went through the executive branch, and you guys did really great with a lot of the answers. But we're going to kind of go through those answers together, and then we're going to talk about this week's lesson and talk a little bit more about the next branch of government. So far we've talked about the legislative branch. We talked a lot about the legislative branch, so we should know that Congress is in charge of all things that is legislative. Remember the senators, House of Representatives, okay, they belong in the legislative branch. And this last week we talked about the executive branch. Okay, so who is in charge of the executive branch? All right, do you guys remember who's in charge? Yell it out at me. Yell it out at the screen. Come on. You want to yell it. I know you do. Tell me who it is. Come on, let me hear you. I can't hear you. Give me a little bit louder. Let me hear it. Good. That's right. The president. The president is in charge of the executive branch. He's the one that is in charge of everything. So, what is his role? What does he do? Do you guys remember? He enforces the law. Okay. So that's the role of the executive branch. They enforce the law. That's important to remember. All right, who else is in the executive branch besides the president? Do you remember? It was the president, the vice president, and the cabinet. Okay, so the cabinet people are the people that work inside of the White House, and that the White House is where the president lives. All right, do you guys remember how old the president has to be to run for office? Do you guys remember how old he had to be? Right, he had to be 35 years old, okay? 35 years old, all right? I hope you guys are responding back to me so I'm not looking a little silly doing this by myself. So I want you to give me some feedback here. All right, what kind of citizen must the president be? This was one that a lot of us got wrong on the quiz. Okay, so what kind of citizen must the president be? It is important that we know this. He has to be a natural born citizen. What that means is he cannot be born anywhere else but in the United States. So if he's born in Africa, on the continent of Africa, do you think that he could be president of the United States? No, he could not. Okay? If he was born in Alabama, the state of Alabama, could that person be the president of the United States? Yes. Yes, he could, because that is a part of the United States, okay? So if he's in the United States, that's all 50 states, he can be the president. But if it's outside of that, then they cannot be the president. Okay, they have to be born inside the United States. Very important. All right, so what is the president the commander-in-chief of? Do you guys remember where they salute to different people? What would that be? What would that be? That's right, it's the military. All of the military forces. Okay, so all the military forces, that's what the president is the commander-in-chief of. All right, so what can the president approve or veto? So what does he have in common with, so if legislative, so remember Congress, they make the laws, what can the president do to veto? He can veto and approve those laws, okay? If Congress says, hey, we want to pass this law, it's gone through House of Representatives and passed, and went through the Senate and passed. Then it gets to the president. The president can say, no, we're not going to pass that law. And they can veto it. Same thing around. The president wants to make a law or get a law passed. He can push for it, goes through. Then Congress can say, no, that's not going to go through. Okay? So they both have a little bit of power and a little bit of, remember, it's all balanced. So they check and balance each other. How many years is the president in office for? So how many years is one term? Do you guys remember? Yell it out at me. Let me hear you through the screen. I want to hear it. That's right. 4 years. He can only be president for 4 years at a time. Okay? And then how many total terms can that be? Can he run for? 2. Right. There's only 2 terms he can run for. So if each term is 4 years and they can run for 2 terms, what is 4 times 2? 4 times 2. How many years total can that person be the president? 8. He can be the president for 8 total years. Okay? So we talked about how the president, the vice president, and his cabinet, so the people that work in the White House, they are all a part of the executive branch. But there's other people that are a part of the executive branch. And do you guys know who that would be? Do you remember? It's kind of tricky, but they're people that can also enforce the law. Okay, so there are people in this town or city that can enforce the law. Who are those people? All right, Gabe, you should know very well because your dad is one of them, and that is a police officer. Okay, police officers are a part of the executive branch. They help enforce the law. Okay, so they hold and keep the laws very strict in each town, and so that's something that you can also put under the executive branches, the police officers. All right, so great job on the executive branch. So we're moving on to today. You're going to be learning a lot about the judicial branch. Okay, and we're going to be learning about people that are in charge of the judicial branch. And so who would those people be? If it's judicial, we're going to be talking about what type of people. Do you remember? We've kind of hit a little bit in class, a little bit about it. It's not going to be Congress. It's not going to be the president. So it's the third group of people that's left. And these people are the justices or the judge. Okay, so those are the people we're going to be talking about. These are the people that interpret the laws. So we're going to listen to a couple videos today. One is just explaining the judicial branch, all of it together, and what each does. And then we're going to hear from a lady that was the first woman justice of the Supreme Court. And she talks about her experience on the Supreme Court and what she had to learn in order to be a part of the Supreme Court and to interpret those laws. Okay, so she's one of 9 people that sit on a big panel, and remember they have black robes on, they hold a gavel, and they make the decision whether if this is upholding the Constitution or not. Okay, so I want you guys to take some time, review the video, and then we will also have a Kahoot. This Kahoot will talk about the basics of the judicial system. Play it as much as you want to, okay? So that you have an understanding of what you're supposed to be doing or what the judicial system is all about. So you don't have to just play it one time. You can play it as many times as you want so that you are understanding. And those questions will help you with the quiz. And there'll be a 10-question quiz, okay? I also have a response for you after this video. So we got a lot to do today in a short little time, but I know that you can do it, and I'm very proud of you. And so keep going strong. So today, all about the judicial system. Watch these 2 videos, then then do the flip grid, and then the Kahoot and a quiz. All right? See you guys later.